What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Global Speedrun Association. Today we will be having the Any Percent Tournament quarterfinal, the first one of the batch, Chaospringle, number 3 in the world currently, versus reyalsdiorteM,
Yeah.
another top runner, very high up there. So this is going to be a super hype match. I know I've seen some people hype in the chat already, and it's for a reason. This match is going to be insane. It's going to deliver on all levels, and I also have my boy Tischel with me today for some
Hey.
hot quality commentary, definitely bringing in the knowledge as well.
Hey, what's up, guys? Really hyped for this race. Hopefully, it's a good one.
And yeah, we hear some heavy breathing right there. I think we have Chaospringle joining us as well. Seems definitely more on the nervous side, but you got this, man. So how do you feel about today's matchup?
I feel okay. I just don't want to fall in the deep woods. That's it.
Okay, I think you can
Like
handle that one.
Just remember to breathe.
Yeah, I'll remember to breathe.
Yeah. Anything added to your gameplay recently that you're nervous about in particular? Anything you feel very good about?
I mean, I've been playing like insane lately. I don't know. I just like every run, like
Yeah,
every day, I
I've
get
seen that.
like a really good run. So yeah, I think hopefully I can carry that over here.
Cool.
So,
Let's see that happen. I'm gonna give it over to you. Take a few deep breaths and get ready for the race. And best of luck from us.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks.
See you on the other side.
See ya.
All right, boys, this is going to be pretty hype. I've been looking forward to this match pretty much the entire day already. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about you, Tisha, but this one is a big one.
Yeah, so Chaos, as we always say, the consistency master. He basically gets a 1-on-1 every day. So really solid stuff by Chaos. And Rhea, he didn't PB, he hasn't PB'd in a while. But he definitely has the skill, and he already said he had a bunch of 1-on-1s that died in the late game, in offline runs. So he can definitely take this. So this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And Rhea, obviously very sick runner as well. His movement was always super clean and fun to watch. Hasn't been running as much, or at least not streaming as much as he used to, but his last race also still showed how good he still is. And we do have the live verification screenshots on screen right now for you guys, randomized as in every race. And we do have a command in chat. I'm going to post it right here just so you guys know what they are all about. But we are on our way, starting with Cap Kingdom, Rhea versus Chaos. Any percentiment quarterfinal? Let's go.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a similar race to the one we saw with Fer and Equan, where tiny mistakes are gonna matter a lot in this level. Obviously, the big tricks are obviously a big part of races, but if they get everything, it's gonna come down to the tiny mistakes, to the tight movement. So just pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. As far as cap goes, I'd give it to Rhea. He always used to have one of the best cap times in the community. I mean, Stra was obviously the uncontested cap god, but Rhea, very high up there, used to get very sick times for Cap Kingdom. Pretty mechanical player. So Chaos, for like just to look at the players, I think Chaos mostly is the grind master. He looks at the tricks, he makes them very consistent for himself. And Rhea on the other side going for the fancy stuff like this water roll right there. That's something that saves just a little bit of time, but he goes for that kind of plays.
Yeah, for example, Rhea was the one that started doing the camera manipulation on Cap Bridge. I mean, nowadays we do it with the first-person camera, but the first person to do it just with manual camera was Rhea, and that's what kind of opened the door for the optimization. And Chaos, yeah, Chaos is a runner that actually takes some time to implement strats. Not a long ago he was still doing like pretty safe stuff. Lately he's kind of being forced to learn everything, is actually go for everything in runs. But I don't think that's giving him any trouble whatsoever. He can still like do the hard stuff and be just as consistent.
Chaos actually snagging in the lead on that topper, and that's something that's super underlooked in Cap. It's a super movement intense kingdom. There's so much small optimizations you can do, but Rhea taking damage down the second phase and Chaos getting the optimal second hit, and that's just enough for him to catch up already and go into Cascade with a tiny lead.
Yeah, so FMS is gonna be really important as always. Hopefully they both get it first try, or at least they're close. We want a close race here. We don't want a blunder in FMS, which can
For
totally
sure.
happen, by the way.
Yep. First moon skip coming up right now. Very precise jump. You perform the entire thing on a very weird rock with some very weird properties. Let's see if they have any differences in terms of strats going into this one. Chaos setting up, probably going for the double ground pound, gets
They
it
both.
just fine.
Reyes was looking fine, but that's just a really good example of the rock hitbox being weird. He got the ground pound, but he slide off and fall to the water. There's not really much you can do, honestly. When it happens, you can just feel it's RNG. I mean, it's not really RNG, but it's so tight that it feels that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chaos missing Dinoscape.
That's something I've never seen him do. Like that's the stuff Chaos usually is not known for. These tricks is what he gets down every time. He's probably a bit annoyed because that's usually how Chaos is, especially on these tricks. Not a big deal at all. Obviously, just basically making the race even again. And as you said, FMS just showing how it's very, very hard to get that trick consistent. Some factors play into it that you can't really control, like the rock property.
Yeah, no, he's definitely nervous. Like when Chaos does runs, I mean, obviously he resets a lot in the LEM like everyone, but like when he gets a run going, you don't see him make those kind of mistakes like maybe more than once or twice during the entire run.
For sure.
It's pretty crazy. So I think definitely nerves coming into play early in the race.
Interesting strat difference here. Chaos going for that spin pound. Looked pretty clean. He might have saved a tiny bit of time there. Reyal just going for cap throw into a jump into the moon. Super minor stuff. But people optimize that kind of movement.
Yeah, so I wonder if in that short distance spin pound is worth it. Usually when you're in flat terrain, spin pound is only faster if you do it like really fast, pretty much like frame perfect.
Yeah.
If you're not perfect with the spin pound, you're not really saving time over just regular rolling. So I wonder if the distance actually changes the equation.
In this case, it is actually faster. We've seen like some tiny comparisons there. There's even crazier stuff you can do. You can go into the spin pound and then roll cancel into the moon because roll canceling gives you a tiny bit of height. But yeah, that's like super minor stuff. Chest clip though, I don't know if Reyal does it. I'm pretty sure he does it usually. Chaos definitely does it.
Probably does. Yeah.
That's a bit of a bigger one, but looks like both getting it just fine.
I think this moon clip is the easiest of the three that are in any percent. Sure. Chest in Cascade, Nut clip in Wooded, and the one in Snow that not a lot of people do. The one in Snow. I know Acrid does it. I don't know if anyone else does it.
I've seen Acrid do it in a race. I've seen Equan attempt it, but very rarely seen.
Yeah, the one in Snow is hard because the camera. You want to go fast and you don't really have time to adjust the camera, so I think it's the hardest of the three. But yeah, pretty close race. I mean, even though Reyal had a second try FMS, Chaos missed Dino Skip, so that kind of evened it out.
Yeah, and I do feel Chaos's nerves through my screen right now, because I know if there's any trick that has been giving him problems recently, not as much in the last days, but the weeks before at least, it was swing clip for sure. And Chaos, and I think Reyal maybe at this point as well, we talked to you guys about the two methods of performing the swing slip route, the one being the single clip, where you clip into the wall, get the moon in the room, and then go into the swings. But it's actually faster to clip into the room first and then clip once again to grab the moon from the room, because you already make your way to the next section. You do have to clip twice though, and clipping is very frame tight. So I think Chaos is going to attempt to go for that double clip, which he might get first try, and then it's obviously a bigger time save.
Yeah, so interesting camera about Reyal. I assume he does that to reduce the lag. On the starting part of Sand, you get a bunch of frame drops when the level starts, and he put the camera all the way down just to not see anything. I wonder if that actually saves time. It probably does.
I don't know. I haven't ever really felt an instance of it saving time, but I do notice that Reyal does this camera every time.
Yeah. So Chaos actually also having a lot of issues with Sandram lately. Yesterday he had a really bad day with Sandram. And Sandram is, in my opinion, one of the hardest movement in the game. It's really, really tight stuff. So let's see if he can get it. He's getting into it right now.
Reyal actually missing the Dune moon on his first try right there. This moon is actually not at the center of the Dune. It's kind of off, so you do need to know where it exactly is, and it's still easy to miss.
So here we go. Sand for Chaos. Let's see. I mean, Dram.
Yep. Cycle on the platform looks good. Dives very, very quick. That should be no problem for him at all. I think Reyal got it as well without any problems.
So Chaos doing notes. He skipped the moon on the boxes, and Rey as well. Nice. So that's the fastest route available.
Very interesting to see how people slowly catch up. And there was like this one time where only Stravos really went for this route very early when GSA started to cover Odyssey content. But already we've seen pretty much almost every top runner to just skip that Kraken with the bunch of cutscenes going. Because once you're actually confident at the nodes moon, you can consistently save time with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It also comes down if you do the double drum fast or not. If you don't do double drum fast, notes is almost always gonna be faster for you. All right, so
Raya actually catching up, both going for single clip. Chaos got it
look at the
second time,
sync.
literally
Look at that
synced.
Oh. So yeah, that's cool to watch. Oh, Rhea grabbing the two sides of coins. I don't really like that. I feel like it's just you're just being really extremely safe for no reason, because even if you don't grab enough coins, you can just go C-side first, and it's barely a time loss.
Very visible how he lost time doing that too. He just barely went into the room, very minimally ahead, and now he's slightly behind. But he's obviously going to be very safe on coins. But Chaos with his 130 coins should be very good to go. All he needs to do is get that chest after this Jaxi skip, because the section is usually intended to be gotten with a Jaxi, which is one of these lion thingy taxi boys. He's standing up right there.
Yeah, I think if you leave Sun with 170, even if you don't do the boss in Rooted, if you don't die in Lost grabbing the Bridge Moon, I think you're pretty much safe for coins. So Rhea having way more than enough, and Chaos is with the sweet spot number, I would say 180 is where you want to be if you don't want to think about it, basically.
Interesting spin pot there from Rhea. Shouldn't do much, because usually when you get a ground pound moon, the moon is unobtainable for a certain amount of, maybe like a second. So it doesn't matter how fast you can make it back up. What is actually more important is that you, especially on moons like the Cactus Moon, you want to be actually low. Because the lower you are after getting this moon, the faster you can start rolling again. But both of them with a pretty clean send. Actually, Rhea not getting the fastest thread for nodes there and opting to do a little backup. But Chaos definitely only mistake there with the second try Sphinx Club.
Yeah, so that mistake basically made so nodes was actually slower than just doing the crit moon. That's the thing with nodes, like it's faster, but you cannot make a mistake. So Chaos pulling the lead, pulling ahead right in the end of Sun, but still super close.
For sure. Minimal lead right there, maybe around 8 seconds, something 7 seconds, 6 seconds, something along those lines. Lake alone can turn that around. Usually, I wouldn't assume Chaos to make many mistakes in Lake, but obviously Wooded coming immediately after that one. And when nerfs come into play in Wooded, especially on the out-of-bounds section, that's pretty...
Well, assuming they get knuckle. I mean, I'm pretty much can guarantee, like, if they don't get knuckle, they're still gonna go for rock clip, which is the fastest backup you can do. You basically clip the wall from the other side, which is like 15 seconds slower, so it's a big time loss. I think nowadays top runners, if they miss knuckle clip, they just reset on a real run. But yeah, in races you can't really reset, so it's gonna be interesting. But Lake first.
To be honest though, getting rock clip is actually good for you in a race. Like if you miss nut clip, just getting a clean rock clip is the best that can happen. But we've seen obviously way scarier instances of this route not working out the way runners want it to, and then deep woods come into place, or just clipping back and bounce, which is almost just as big of a time loss.
Yeah, the thing with rock clip is that since players just reset when they don't do nut clip, I think players just don't practice rock clip at all. Which in a race can be very bad if you actually have to do it. You can end up with a like third or fourth try rock clip, which is a really big time loss. Yep. So it's always interesting if it gets to that point.
But actually, Rhea, for me, notoriously known to have actually some very, very decent backups. On moons, you don't really see backups often. I've seen him do some crazy backups in Lost, where backups can actually save you a lot of time, because deaths in Lost are so punishing. You need to reactivate Klepto to get some moons. And that's maybe an advantage he has over Chaos here, because Chaos usually plays super close to his SOB, and when he makes a more major mistake, you'd usually see him just give the run another go. So that's another dynamic that gets thrown into this race.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some runners don't really have backups. They just want to do the fastest stuff, and if they don't get it, they just don't get it. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not really like that. I always want to know at least a plan B in every situation, because anything can go wrong in a run. So in races, I feel like people that actually know the backups have a pretty big advantage.
So one tiny detail that a lot of people might miss right there, Chaos actually threw his cap there to grab some coins from Rango Fight, which is the boss name of this boss we fight here in Lake. And if you know this game and if you know routing in this game, that obviously already tells you that he is going to be skipping the boss fight in Wooded. I mean, we've seen most top level runners do it at this point, but that's something that just immediately gives it away, because usually people used to get coins during the Wooded boss fight, which makes it way easier to grab the coins. You have more downtime. But Chaos is going to be skipping this entire fight to go for an alternative route, which saves around 3 to 5 seconds, depending on how well you perform in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely grab coins in the rank-up fight without losing time. So I think it's a good habit to just always do it. So don't make it so don't do it only if you're low on coins. Just always do it. It's just something good to do. You can do it at the end of the fight. You can grab 5 or 6 coins like for free, basically. So yeah, definitely a good decision. So Wooded coming up. I think we're not even like 10 seconds apart from each other.
No, not at all. Very minor mistakes. If the one mistake for Chaos, there's definitely missing that dino skip at the very start. For Reyal, it is getting FMS second try and some very minor stuff right now. Obviously, very nice to see heading into Wooded, which is the big run, the big kingdom in the run, especially in races. Once again.
Yeah, and all the three verification moons are in Wooded. The first one is the Bunny Moon, so hopefully they remember. And the other two are at the end of the kingdom. I would say.
Chaos getting a lot of speed on the slope of that rock right. I'm not sure if that was intended. He does get the first capture. Once again, these captures are randomized, so it's just literally random that all of them were in Wooded this time. Ray also getting that capture though.
Nice. Alright, not clip time. Here we go. This is it. This is the moment that can change everything, or maybe nothing changes. We'll see.
We definitely hope nothing changes, because that's like the unfortunate way how races can be decided these days. It's just the way Wooded Kingdom plays out. But let's see how it goes. Chaos making his way to the infamous nut. This moon was like just a random one moon that actually was kind of nice to obtain, because as far as the game kind of lags there. Wow, that actually, I'm not 100% sure. Yep.
Yeah, that was not looking very hot. Rhea got it for sure. So yeah, Rhea's gonna pull ahead by quite a bit, and we're gonna see rock clip by Chaos. It's definitely gonna go for that. And yeah, remember, not clip, you only get one chance, right? So that's what happened. Chaos didn't got it, so nice. First try rock clip by Chaos. Out of bound movements, kind of awkward when you come from rock clip, but he did it really fast. Really nice stuff.
So all I want to see him is get out of this section now. It's already enough to not get nut clip. Okay, I'm very pleased. Nut clip is just not 100% consistent for anyone. It just can happen, and Chaos getting the best backup you can imagine for this one. Definitely losing some time. Very visible here on screen how much time that actually loses to have to go all the way around and get that gate animation, but definitely not a major thing. He's like not even the moon behind.
Yeah, just for reference, the route Chaos is doing right now is still faster by quite a bit than the old route, like the route that did the out of bounds. So that was actually the original Wooded route, like the original new Wooded route. It was with rock clip, and nut clip came like 1 week after and just destroyed it.
Yep. Rhea taking damage on the Piranha Plant, and that's quite a big deal because he fell down. He had to re-hit the Piranha Plant, and he's got
Wow, nice save, nice save. That was close.
That is the riskiest death you can take, because if you die there, the game will set you back to the shop. That's the last time you interacted with anything, so he would have actually died and get back to the shop, which is a ginormous timeless. But Chaos not taking damage, getting poison jump just fine, and is about to head into the story moon.
Yeah, so Chaos, didn't get nut clip, but he got such a fast rock clip that after that Reyes mistake, he gained some time, so it's still like super close.
Yep. All right, next capture moon coming up after the infamous Flower Road skip. Tiny little auto-scrolling section skip, which, Ray actually missing it. And I was about to say, at this point, this trick already doesn't save time anymore. On the other side, runners literally tied once again. That's exactly what we promised ourselves from this race.
And this is, again, what I said before, just look out for really minor mistakes like that. Any minor movement, it makes a big difference in races like this.
Both captures taken right there, and Chaos actually getting the nut to be breaking instantly with his ground pound. Rhea missed it once, so Chaos taking the lead one more time, heading into the tower where we find the third and last capture already, which is obviously nice for these runners. They kind of got lucky with their randomizing because they will be pretty much done after they take this capture and can just focus on the rest of their race.
Right, so I'm pretty sure both runners are gonna do the new wooded route, skipping the boss and just falling down. So all runners got the 3 captures, so we can get that out of our minds. Really nice. Let's see. This first jump is actually quite hard.
Chaos going for the faster way, actually, where he just spin pound jumps all the way down. Reyal playing it safe and pretty much prepares the spin pound on a higher edge there. But yeah, pretty nice nut break from Chaos.
From both of them, actually. Clean stuff. I wonder if they're gonna do the pipe entry, the new pipe entry. Okay,
Chaos not opting for it. It's not that known right now. It's not time to. We should make a comparison for this one. It seems a tiny bit faster. You can actually just hold neutral and slowly sink into the water without having to ground pound, and ground pound obviously goes with that animation. And once again, if people get confused, because Spew at the boss fight is literally, we literally went out of the way to skip him. He was right there in front of our feet. But we just skipped him because fighting him is not the fastest, and grabbing the multi-moon is actually very slow. It's a very long cutscene, and when you grab that multi-moon and get back to the Odyssey, another cutscene is going to play that you need to skip, then you need to confirm the skip, and you are further away from the Odyssey. So all of these factors come together that these 3 moons actually still faster by quite a bit.
Yeah, it's usually, you know, you're trading cutscenes for movement. You know, it's a similar situation in Metro with the bullet bill route that, you know, I don't think any runners uses it in RTA yet, even though we know it's faster. It's just, you know, you're just trading cutscenes for really hard movement, so it's really hard to make it save time. In the case of Wooded, the movement is not that hard. You know, it just takes top runners, you know, maybe a few days just to get it down, and you know, it's a 2 to 3 second time save.
Yeah, for sure. Chaos pretty happy with his Wooded probably, because the only mistake he really made is missing Nutclip. Other than that, got Poison Jump, very clean Flower Road skip, very, very clean Spewered skip, which is once again the name of the boss. So he can be happy about this one, but Rhea very, very behind him, only like 2 seconds or something. Very close.
No, if Chaos got Nutclip, I wouldn't be surprised if that was gonna be a gold for him, or close to gold. That was pretty clean. Right, Cloud, Chaos got the manip, and Rhea too, I think.
Yep, Rhea getting it right there. We position at a specific point to make Bowser fly 1 space further, which makes him only jump 1 space after he gets hit, which saves a bit of time.
I think if you get both of them, you can save up to, I would say, a second, maybe 0.7. You know, in a kingdom like this, it's quite a lot of time.
Yeah, that's almost actually kind of another auto-scrolling kingdom, because you have to wait for Bowser to jump and position his heads, and then he needs to... I mean, that's pretty much how all of these boss fights go. There's just some phases where you can't interact with the bosses. Only really the bunny bosses have some very fast strats for them, and then obviously Mecha Wiggler, which is the next boss coming up, has the opportunity to skip, not skip an entire phase, but just play him quick enough to only fight him in 2 cycles.
Right, my favorite part of the run, Lost Kingdom in Speedrun is so cool, so fast-paced. Every moon is super fast and every moon is super deadly. So in a race, a lot of things can happen. Ooh, that's bad. That looks bad.
Wow. He probably could have made it if he jumped to the left side. But what happened to him right there, he set up his cap return jump, and Cappy got stuck there at the specific leaf. And when it gets stuck there, you won't get the cap return jump, which he didn't get. So he had to go back and set up again.
So yeah, usually when you don't get the... I wonder if that's something new he's gonna go. He was going straight for the butterfly, which is not the normal strat. But yeah, he got too close and the butterfly just ran away. But back to the meme tree. Yeah, sometimes you don't get the gap return and you can just go to the lower part. But the jump he did looked kind of weird. He kind of lost speed. So I also felt he was not gonna make it even to the lower side. So he just like backtracked and tried again. I think it was the right call.
Yeah, once again, was one of the instances where we have some very weird properties of the, in this case not a rock of course, but in this case the leaf. It kind of, the hitboxes the leaf has are not natural. It's not like the leaf usually should be. They're probably like in cubes or something, and Cappy kind of got stuck at the lower hitbox of the leaf.
Yeah. Other than that, pretty clean for Rhea. Triple jump cage. about it. Yep.
We did get to see, actually, let's focus on Chaos's triple jump cage first, because this is a very risky strat.
He missed
Actually, at
it.
this point, probably just heading into
Stone cage.
stone cage.
Yeah, so this is my point in Lost. Lost is a hard kingdom. It's just so fast, tight movement, and even though Chaos didn't die, he still lost a lot of time.
So he still needs to get one moon, though. This angle can kind of be weird sometimes, and you'll bonk and die. He gets the moon. He's definitely still good to go. Just make it out of this bridge, and probably looking at like a 20-second lead for Rhea right now, which is not big at all, especially at this part of the run. One thing I do want to point out is something we got to see here that we rarely see is how Chaos actually backed up the butterfly, which is a pretty cool strat. He just went into first-person mode, which made the butterfly be off camera, so he respawned basically in Mario's hitbox, and the moon immediately got spawned.
Yeah, because if it's just standard, the butterfly is not gonna spawn. Like you have to like run away and put the butterfly off camera. But if you can just stand there, like you say, it's just use the first-person camera to trick the butterfly into spawning.
Exactly.
Okay, so Rhea with the big lead now. This is interesting because technically in the leaderboards, Chaos is ahead of Rhea. So I wonder if this is gonna make it so the race is gonna be really close at the end with this lead Rhea has. Well, also Rhea can just like just run away with it. But we don't know. But this is exciting.
Yeah, definitely very interesting dynamic now. So, Night Metro, once again, usually, especially as you start out running this game, pretty scary place. As soon as you get better, these jumps are not as punishing and as hard anymore. City Hall is still and will always be one of the most punishing sections if you do make a mistake, because you will fall down all the way and need to make this entire climb one more time. But it's not seen often in top-level play.
Yeah, no. At the beginning of the game, I feel like this section one of the most field sections in the run. People were just not that good with movement, and like you said, it's a really punishing room. Nowadays, it's kind of trivial, honestly, for runners of this level. It's really strange and weird to see them fail this room. Even lose time is weird. Losing time in this room is weird to see, actually.
Yeah, barely happens. Another thing that does actually matters a lot, in Night Metro is the Wiggler fight itself. Even if you do get the 2 cycle, you can still lose/gain a lot of time depending on how well you position yourself and make those shots towards the Wiggler's hitbox.
Yeah, it's interesting how this fight evolved. At first it was just you just wanted to get the 2 cycle and just get out, continue to run. Nowadays, runners just need to optimize everything, every little thing. So the fight can actually be like a 5-second swing if you do it really fast, so you just do it right.
Yeah, definitely. So Chaos, pretty clean first phase. Rhea got a pretty clean first phase as well. It's just basically aiming those free shots. Take a little bit of your time to just make them count. And now Rhea is going to be looking at his Wiggler pattern right here. Wiggler is moving a bit strange, not liking this one too much. Actually missing one of the shots already. Also got blocked there once, so he's gonna be losing.
So,
oh, what?
Oh my god! Okay.
Whoa! That was super
close.
scary.
And he actually got quite lucky because he missed the shots on the bullets. So the bullets were covering the right side of the screen, and the mech started being activated on the left side of the screen, and that made it so he could actually make some shots with the bullets coming to him. That was actually quite lucky by him. If the bullets were covering where the Wiggler was going, he was gonna get a 3 cycle.
Chaos getting a very clean 2 cycle, but once again, the Wiggler, if you guys haven't seen that yet, it was literally maybe half a second off of being unhittable again, and then Rhea would have immediately lost 30 seconds without any way to recover or make or like diminish his damage. But still, Chaos definitely saving time on Wiggler here.
No, yeah, he definitely saved 5 to 10 seconds there for sure over Rhea. So yeah, day metro, just a speed filled with movement really. Some pretty tricky stuff in here. A good clip. The movement up on top of the tower, the spin pound on the tower is actually pretty tricky. I don't know if they are gonna go for it because it's quite risky. But yeah, this is those splits were it's kind of hard to goal. It's so many things you gotta do right in one go. Really nice drive by Rhea, by the way.
Reyal starting off very stylish. Also, the way he set up his first capture warp right there at the girder looked so smooth. He like jumped backwards and very fast scoot clip here. Also looking to get this next capture warp here without any problems. Zipping up to that pylon or pole, I guess.
Nice. Let's see Chaos. Nice. Very nice scoot clip by both of them.
No problems for them at all. Pretty much only 2 moons apart right now, 2 pretty quick moons as well. Rhea did not actually go for the cameraman app that you can do on the bench guy right here. Chaos is probably going to be doing it, so I can explain you guys what I mean. Like, as Mario is sitting down, he's going to be moving his camera in the position the game wants the camera to be in anyways. So he's saving a little bit of time for where the game usually pans the camera in that spot.
Really clean Metro so far by Rhea. Day Metro anyways. Alright, he just missed the steambound. It's my bad. I'll take it.
Yeah, not many mistakes for both of them though. Like, both of them have been playing this day Metro very clean so far. Very fast spin pounds for Chaos. Let's see. Wow, just
So
long jumps through that gap. Oh, loses speed there.
this is speed. Yeah, that part is pretty tricky. So pay attention to Chaos Screen. He's gonna do first person camera on the drummer. And that actually cuts the transition like the Cap Kingdom bridge. Did you see that? That's so good. I love that.
I know.
It's actually so easy. All you gotta do is just, the default camera already sets it up for you. So all you're just gonna do is just, go into first person and press A. And you just save like, I don't know, 0.3, 0.4 for free.
Yeah, I've been trying that and it's sometimes hard to do the first person because it's the R3 button. So you need to click your camera control stick, which is unnatural sometimes, but definitely cool looking small time save.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, Rey is still a bit ahead, going to the top part of the level, which can be, pretty deadly. Even though it's, you don't expect a mistake in this part. If it happens, it could be very costly.
It's a big one. This part of the game also likes to drop your inputs, especially when you hit that trash can and then try to get Cappy back. But wow, that dive angle is actually okay.
Wow, it's the first time I see someone missing the moon and falling into that ceiling. That's actually like, disaster averted right there. It would have been really bad if he fell all the way down.
Yeah, there's no really good backup after you fall and miss that moon, so he just kind of saved himself to be on that railing so he could still get the moon fast. Chaos definitely, these mistakes, using them though, and catching up. Yep. He's creeping. Definitely gaining those little time saves here, and Rhea bonking there. So this is what Chaos is going to abuse here, because his consistency is going to show in these parts, and he's going to use that to gain his lead back, or at least come close again.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, none of them doing the spin pound on the top of the building. That spin pound saves like a second, I think.
It's big,
but it's really risky. It's really easy to fall down.
Chaos was not able to get it because you actually need to grab the moon in a specific spot to be even able to spin pound. So he just said, okay, screw it, I'm not gonna fall down. I'm just gonna do the cap dive straight.
Both of them having some issues with the bullseye moon. Rhea bonking, and I think Chaos grabbed the ledge, but nothing major.
Yeah, overall, Chaos still so far, there's still another moon he needs to grab with the better day Metro though. Rhea's playing very clean, especially the hard tricks, nailing them completely, but taking a bonk here and there, and an unnecessary ledge grab, and it adds up. So Chaos probably only looking at around a 15-second. He's only 15 seconds behind right now, I think, and at the start of this, he was probably around 22, so he definitely caught up here.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
yeah, I think you're right.
50 fade out for Rhea.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 17 or something. And big trick coming up, Snowdrum, can completely change this race. Every time you miss Snowdrum, it's like a 20 to 25 second time loss. So yeah, it's still so much stuff they have to do to finish this race. Only halfway done.
Yeah. Looking at a pretty much 90-second difference here between the runners, and Snowdrum missing it once would exactly, like if Rhea missed it once here, they would be even. Chaos would probably be ahead. But let's not forget Snow in general. There's still some scary rooms where you can die with the Goombas, you can fall into the poison, you can bonk in a ton of places in this kingdom. So let's see how this plays out.
Oh, for sure. Bonk Kingdom, for sure. All the hallways are really tight. The ground is not even. There's like mounts everywhere, so when you're rolling, like sometimes it's kind of hard to go straight. It's really easy to bonk into the walls. So yeah, and like I said at the beginning, those tiny mistakes are gonna make a big difference in this race. So just watch out for that.
Yeah, Rey with a very clean outside section of Snow Kingdom, there's not much we do. We just roll over to Toad, get this one outside moon, the rest we do inside of Shiveria. Not opting for the fastest strat there for these boxes right there. Not sure if Chaos has anything better to offer. Obviously still a fast strat that Reyal did. There's some bit faster options.
Yeah. No, like at this point of the game, we're basically trying to optimize every single moon, you know, with the most ridiculous movement we can think of, you know. Most of them, you know, we don't do it RTA because they're really hard to make consistent, but you know, if you look at the game now and compare it to what it was a few months ago, it's pretty crazy. That's a very costly mistake by Chaos, bonking on the bridge. He's trying to do wall jump less. He got it now. It's a pretty tight strat. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him miss that. That's kind of surprising, but yeah, he probably lost like 5 to 10 seconds with that.
Yeah, for sure. So Reyal actually his only mistake so he missed the ground pound moon once, but obviously that bonk that Chaos had there is more costly. So as far as snow goes, Reyal with the better snow at this point, pretty much halftime only at this point though. Like we get a lot of moons here, but there's still the Goomba room. You still need to buy the moon, which obviously takes a lot of time. It's hard to make a mistake there, but then Snowdram being the very last moon we get.
Yeah, and then we see the difference in movement. Reyal opting for a spin pound on the moving platform, and Chaos is doing a triple jump off it. I don't think there's a very big time difference in that. I think it's mostly preference. For the spin pound, you want to get to the platform early, so you can just buffer the spin pound in the platform. For the triple jump, you actually go slow on purpose. So by the time the platform starts moving, you do the triple jump on it. So it's just different approaches to get the same cycle.
Definitely feeling Reyal's nerves, actually. A lot of these mistakes you see him do here are pretty uncommon for these runs, especially he like did a backflip at the start of this room, which is obviously not what you want to do, but that's just something that shows you how much pressure is on these guys. This is already the quarterfinals, and this is like the closest matchup you could have imagined.
Yeah, I mean, in Chaos also, like, he bonked twice in snow, you know, and one of the bonks was really costly because it was on the bridge. So he's definitely not happy with the snow.
Yeah. And let's obviously also not forget that even though Snowdram is a thing, it is obviously not at all the last thing. Ending snow is pretty much halftime. I mean, it's a bit over halftime, but that's actually really where late game starts. We have Seaside, where you can take a lot of costly bonks. We have Luncheon, where there's lava everywhere. You lose a ginormous amount of time on every mistake. But Snowdram being the focus for now, Rhea warping to the Odyssey to perform it. Let's see how this one goes.
Let's see. Oh, nice! I love that climb for the Odyssey.
I do that. Oh, no, didn't get the vault there first try.
Alright, so that happens when you're too close to Cappy. You don't get the bolt animation, you just get a really small jump. Alright, so he got Snowdram, but he did lose a bit of time with the setup.
Probably around 5 to 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So if Chaos, he did have some more costly mistakes, so I assume if Chaos just makes that jump first try here without any issues, we are still going to be looking at pretty much the same difference between them.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh.
Ooh, that's big. Alright.
Yep. His rainbow spin there was very early, which, I mean, we say that all the time, runners have different setups, but that was like the one thing that stood out for me.
Yes, so Chaos looking at a 40-second disadvantage with that. Let's see if it gets again. Ooh, he didn't get the bolt. And a bonk. Nothing going right for Chaos.
Yeah. He was actually about to warp there, which is obviously not the right choice. Probably just being disappointed that it didn't work. Okay, gets it right there. Obviously taking the time. There's definitely some disappointment from him. That doesn't mean the race is over though. Like, not at all. This is pretty much where the late game starts.
Alright, so you know, Rhea probably very happy with this. I don't know if he's looking at the race, but you know, he just gotta keep the lead.
Yeah, for sure. Seaside being a more relaxed part of the game, but definitely not a free kingdom. You can lose a lot of time everywhere, and it's just basically the one kingdom before Luncheon. That's all you can say, actually, because even though it feels relaxing, you know, okay, Luncheon is coming, and I can still lose time. Actually, I'm super focused during Seaside because you can bonk everywhere and lose more time than you want to.
Now, Seaside, you know, in general, is one of the easier kingdoms, but you can make it so hard on yourself. Like, even the first 3 moons, Like you can do movement just to save a tiny bit of time. That is really hard. You know, I think Rhea did a spin pump for the K-pump, but you can just reach it with a regular jump, which is kind of hard because the camera doesn't help. You know, the movement on the first moon, the way you climb those cliffs, also, you can do it faster, but with a bit of risk. So it's a pretty interesting kingdom where you can just say, all right, I'm just gonna get a 336 seaside and not think about it, or you can say, okay, I'm gonna try to get a sub 330 seaside. I'm gonna do all the hard stuff. So
Rhea doing all of the hard stuff. He didn't go for the single jump on the third one, which is a bit faster, just opting for the spin pump, but going for the rocket flower refresh trick / glitch, where you trick the game into thinking your cap just picks up a dead rocket flower and the rocket flower just gets fully refreshed and you can run across that ocean instead of just capturing that Gushing, which is a fair amount slower. I'm pretty sure that Chaos won't do it at this point. I know it's been a trick he's notoriously been struggling with. I don't know. Actually opting to go for it.
he's doing it. He's mad. I mean, he has to go for everything at this point.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
he wants to win the race, he has to do everything. And he got it. Nice job. Rhea closing out Seaside. You know, the lead is pretty big at this point, as we already knew. Seaside was pretty clean for Rhea. I think I only saw a tiny mistake in the cave, if I remember correctly. He bonked, like he dived into the wall and bonked. That was it.
Yeah, for sure. So, Seaside pretty much done for Rhea. This one section, the one where you can easily take a bonk with the fish, he does avoid them entirely though. So he's just going to be warping back to the Odyssey and Chaos, just having to pick up some additional underwater moons. But Luncheon is next, the very scary kingdom, which is, in terms of movement, insanely hard. It's packed with movement, packed with specific jumps of walls that aren't really walls because they're like weird polygon-esque rocks. And yeah, a lot of lava lying around, which damages you, which loses time if you get damaged in this game.
For sure, Luncheon. I think I don't know. Maybe Luncheon is back to being the hardest kingdom. You know, when we discovered Nutclip. I mean, in the history of the game, I think Wooded was always the hardest kingdom, even without Nutclip. Slowly, people got really good at Wooded, so then Luncheon was becoming the hardest kingdom, and then we discovered the new route in Wooded, so Wooded went back to being the hardest kingdom. But I think nowadays it's moving back to Luncheon. I think Wooded, most right now already have it down. Nutclip, not a big issue nowadays. I feel like maybe Luncheon is now the hardest again.
I can see that. I think runners are still scared the most of Wooded just because how big a time those can be, especially in races. I mean, pretty much on every interview we have here, people say, oh, I'm feeling pretty good, I just hope I don't fall into deep woods. Because it's in their mind and they know it can happen. Luncheon on the other side is getting, once again, because we do need to do it, it's getting optimized even more. The small stuff like roll canceling of the pillar to go towards the lava isle that Rhea is to get soon. And yeah, this stuff is getting added. And we don't know about the future of Luncheon. Everything might change. But so far, Luncheon probably moving back is one of the harder kingdoms.
No, for sure. Ooh, that's a really big time loss, actually.
Wow.
That's actually really big. It's actually really hard to hit the boss like that.
It is.
Doing the casual strat is not easy.
Yeah, there's still another heart he can grab, so he doesn't get the damage refill. I actually missed it there, so he needs to decide at this point if he's just going to hit Spirit and then run to the heart. Because if he doesn't, and he doesn't, he's going to take an additional damage refill. So probably easily losing 10 seconds in this fight, easily.
For sure. And, Chaos creeping in. He got Soul Triple. He's getting there. Let's see.
Yeah. And even though Luncheon is one of the scarier parts, this usually is one of the easier parts. But hey, it still can happen in this game. You can lose time on every single moon.
Yeah, and even with this lead, like, they still have to do mech. Like, if Rhea falls off mech and Chaos gets it perfectly, suddenly it's even again. So
yeah, for sure.
It's not over. Like, it's not over. Not even close.
Not at all. And Rhea heading into the sub room where we just pick up one single moon. The other one is just way too slow. You need to get 5 moon shards that we get in Bowser's later, and there's like 2 animations. It's awfully slow. So just grabbing this one, which is obviously a fast one. Just need to go around that entry block.
Yeah, all this section in Luncheon is very stylish. I really like the way it looks. The movement is really cool, really fast. You're basically using every move in Mario's arsenal just to get all those 3 moons. Really cool stuff.
So yeah, Rhea heading towards this triple jump right here. to actually only break the crate. He's going to position himself in a way that he can still dive up the roof, so he can immediately grab it. Very nicely done.
That moon is pretty interesting. The history of that moon. You know, usually at the beginning we would take a route on the left side and just, you know, climb the ceiling of the building and just grab the moon from there. Nowadays the movement is so fast. You know, you're just basically doing everything at the same time. You're climbing the building and grabbing the moon at the same time, which is obviously really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. So Rhea heading towards the Salt Eye right here. He's not going for the roll cancel strat, which is a bit faster. Also doing a slight camera manipulation to make it easier for him to get that lava bubble right there. You can skip moving the camera entirely there, because once again, if you have enemies off camera, they won't even spawn. So he just waits until he's close to move up his camera to manipulate the spawn of the Podoboo. Let's see what Chaos opts to go for.
There's a strat where you don't do that. You just let the lava bubble spawn as soon as possible, but it requires really fast movement, and you know it's really tight to make the cycle. So let's see if Chaos goes for that.
Yeah, pretty sure Chaos is going to be going for it. Not sure if he goes. He probably doesn't go for the roll cancel, just for the spin pound down. Rare with some very good folks. So he doesn't move his camera here. You can see it. Oh, not getting the long jump. Not what you want to be seeing.
Yeah, those two rolls are actually quite hard. Like that island is not like flat, so that the surface is kind of hard to maneuver with the rolls there. You wanna basically land with the dive on the edge, so you can beat the two rolls. I think he landed a bit too far up. That's why he missed.
Bonking at the start of Fox here as well. So Rhea probably still with the bigger time loss in luncheon so far. He still needs to do turnip. That's too far to the right. He needs to position this turnip again.
Yeah, so Rhea lost his speed coming down, so he had to whack down with the turnip. He actually lost quite a bit of time here.
That looks a bit far. He can still make that work for sure though. Yep.
Nice.
Losing some time there, not the biggest time loss. If Chaos doesn't make a mistake, and even though he did make some mistakes overall in luncheon, probably still saving some time in it. But yeah, Rhea still with a pretty solid lead heading into Ruined, which is actually, I shouldn't say anything because there's still that one scary moon we get. Let's see how it plays out.
It's turning clip by Chaos. Okay, he still does long jump there to get down with the turnip. You can do a spin pound roll cancel to grab it. That position should be fine. Maybe a bit far away. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a close call. Should work though. Yep.
Alright, nice.
Oh no,
Rhea
Rhea, that's actually a death.
That's a death for sure.
You can't back that up. Wow, that's a big death too. So Chaos is gonna be looking through this cutscene, but Rhea just spawning here, so definitely losing easily 15 seconds.
No, Rhea's still ahead, but that definitely like made it closer for sure. This is one of the deadliest moons in Luncheon. It's one of those things where we just make it hard on ourselves, you know. Rhea opting for the dive spin pound, I think it's a really risky strat, and it's actually like, I don't think it's even the fastest strat.
No, it's not.
There's a much safer way to do it. You know, Chaos going for the same thing. It's just one of those things where we just make it hard for ourselves, you know.
It's true, you can just walk up this higher level block and then fall down, and while you fall you can buffer the spin pound, which is faster and safer. Because you can't change your dive. Like once you are diving, you can't cap throw, you can't cancel the dive. You will be diving until you hit something.
Yeah, you can adjust the dive in the air a bit, like you can move to the side a bit, but I mean you can like drift, but you can only like correct a bit. Like if the initial angle was bad, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, for sure. So Chaos probably still coming closer to Rhea here. Maybe around like 15 seconds that he's closer to him now that he was previously. And I don't think Ruin is gonna, like, if Ruin changes anything, it's probably the race decider. But usually you see like a second difference between runners on that auto-scrolling kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruin, it would be a big meme if it changes anything. To be completely honest with the audience, you know, basically the auto-scroller of the run, like we always said. But at the same time, you know, a good place to relax, just breathe, calm down. You just basically leave the hardest part of the run, which is luncheon, and you gotta do pauses next, you know.
Yep.
So just use Ruin to relax a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. And the only thing that you can really do in Ruin is optimize the way you take out the dragon. There's like still these little phases where you need to act to attack him. But even if some of them, like even if the one has a faster strat than the other, it's not gaining them a big lead. It's probably going to change the pace around like a second, if at all.
So Rhea actually claimed that he has a 316 ruin, which would be faster than the best theoretical we have. But he didn't record it, guys. So we'll never see the 316, the legendary 316 by Rhea.
Yep.
Maybe he does it here.
Well, there's also a lot of different ways how people actually split this kingdom, so I'm not gonna judge anyone here. But at the same time, Chaos actually taking a bonk at the very start, and when you bonk there in the specific instance, that's like the one thing that can actually lose you time in this kingdom. Around like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you can easily lose 2 seconds on the initial movement, like just getting to the fight, you know. Like everything in this game, like movement in this game is everything. You can easily lose 1 second if you're just not tight with your inputs.
Yeah,
but
for
yeah.
sure.
And it feels really bad when you lose time in this game, though. It's the same thing like Cloud. You know, those teams you just don't really want to see a 2 second time loss.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like once again the barrier, because if you die to this fight, your run is dead in every case, and a race is pretty much, it's not like any race would be decided by that, but if you die in this fight, you lose like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah. And that has happened. That has happened on world record base.
We've
Crazy.
seen it all.
Alright, so Rhea closing out the fight. Chaos still on the third phase. So there's still, you know, a pretty big lead by Rhea, but everything can change in Bowser's.
Yeah, for sure. Bowser's now being the biggest thing we need to look at. And then once again, even if one of them is still ahead in Bowser's, there's still Moon coming up where you can easily miss a Bowser head, where you can easily miss some pillars. And yeah, this is still... And every race that gets decently close into these sections usually gets very hype. And Bowser's is not only mech fight, Bowser's is shards, Bowser's is the mini boss fights, Bowser's is movement towards the boxes and the scary camera, scary jumps without control over the camera. So Bowser's is scary.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're both gonna go for Harry third on the mech. Rhea, one of the first players that implemented that into his runs, pretty sure. And Chaos has been doing it for a long time now, so pre-hype moment in like 8 minutes, because that's what it takes to finish the kingdom, around 8 minutes.
Pretty much, and yeah, it's the last thing. It's literally, it's not the last input you do in the kingdom, but it's the last hard input you do in the kingdom.
Yeah.
So, very high pressure.
So does Rhea do does he I mean the boxes moon or the bird drum? I guess we're about to see.
Yeah, I've always seen him do boxes. I've never seen him do the bird. Bird is still very rarely seen. It's once again a personal preference moon you can grab, which pretty much ties the moon behind the boxes. Can be faster, can be slower, depending on how your movement is, but it's pretty much personal preference.
Rhea doing triple jump or ogre. Ooh, he won't.
Definitely not the fastest strat you can do. You can just triple jump beside the ogre and then spin pound him. He had to do an additional ground pound and took a bonk, so let's see how Chaos manages that moon.
Yeah, Chaos I think is gonna do a long jump into a buffer spin pound, into another spin
one.
pound.
Yeah.
Which is not the fastest strat, but it's pretty close and it's pretty easy to do.
Yep.
And
yep, that's cool. What I usually do. Very, very fast spin pound too.
Looks cool. It's not always about speed, guys. It's also about being cool.
Yeah, and this is also still fast. Like, that's still faster than the strat Rhea was going for, and he obviously also took the bonk. So, once again, creeping a little bit up towards Rhea. And Rhea's heading into shards, which is the most intense movement section of Bowser's. Not grabbing that shard as you wanted to.
Right, Rhea using long jump for the dieback shard. We're gonna see Chaos use triple jump, most likely, which is a bit faster. Rhea with not the cleanest shards, but still okay.
Yeah, still okay. Obviously, no deaths, no damage so far. There's still the possibility to get hit by one of these Pokyo birdie guys. Chaos going for triple jump. Dive back gets it. Very nice. One of the scariest and hardest tricks in Bowser's.
Nice. Ooh, that RZJ is so good. RZJ's roll cancel jump to grab the third shard. That looks so good.
That was a very clean shots. Only
Yep.
mistake he really made there is to dive a bit too far to the left, but he still made that first cycle on that cannonball. Another RCJ to grab that moon. Definitely, once again with cleaner shots movement here, so creeping more, creeping up. And he's
Let's
also
see if
going to
he-
be doing a faster strat after this moon, so...
Yeah, he's gonna do Bowser's Ram, I think. I'm pretty sure he goes for that. So even more time save over Rhea strats.
Yep. He does need to get it though. This strat is very risky. Playing it safe there, just stopping for a second.
I can respect it.
I think that still works. Was a bit slow. Still
It's a bit
gets
slow,
it.
and it was a bit to the left. I feel the capture was a bit off, but it still worked. So very nice. Alright, so Rhea doing Harriet third like a normal human being, and Chaos is gonna do Topper first because, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop first. So it's gonna look
This
like
might-
Chaos is ahead, but he's not. He's behind.
Might look a bit confusing, but it's once again personal preference. It doesn't change anything if you do this guy first or Harriet first. Hopper is his name, by the way. But Chaos always, since I've started watching him, probably since he started playing, used to fight this guy first. Pretty much killing them at the same time, which still doesn't mean that Chaos is ahead. Wait, does it?
The Harriet
I'm actually confused.
fight.
It's faster, right?
No, it's longer. The Harriet fight is
And
longer.
Harriet fight is longer, is what you mean. Yeah, exactly, because she has these hops that she does.
Yeah.
But that's something you rarely see at all, so that's why I got confused. But very interesting dynamic, both of them killing the respective bosses at the same time, but Rhea still, as we see right there, with a pretty confident lead, but still, Chaos definitely made up some time in this kingdom.
The Chaos still has to do the third hit. Yeah, the Harriet fight is definitely longer, and you know there's a faster strat for Harriet fight that you saves up to a second. We already saw Fur using it in the tournament. You can use the first-person camera to set up the angle for Cappy throw, similar to what we do in Snowdram. And that way, you basically just leave Cappy in the air, so when she throws the bomb, she instantly gets hit. It's actually
Yeah.
not that hard. I've been playing with it lately. It's actually not that hard. I'm pretty sure top runners are gonna start implementing it really soon. I'm gonna make sure they do actually.
Yeah. So this race is actually super interesting. Usually in this situation we'd say, okay, yeah, this is Rhea's race to lose because he has still a quote-unquote confident lead. But this lead has been consistently shrinking since they entered Luncheon. Obviously,
sure.
Chaos still making some mistake, but creeping and creeping and creeping behind him and saving some time on pretty much all of those tiny little jumps. So Rhea needs to not make a major mistake here, unless otherwise Chaos will abuse that and get back on track and maybe even in the lead.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where if Rhea falls off mech, he's gonna lose the lead. It's not gonna be even. I think she's gonna flat out lose the lead. So we'll see mech coming up for Rhea.
Might even be as extreme. Obviously depends on which phase you fall. Also Harriet third, missing that one big mistake. Starting up right now. I'm pretty nervous. Let's see how this goes.
If we are nervous, imagine the players, man.
Yeah.
Really good climb, really fast.
Yeah. Used to have the theoretical segment for this one. Extremely clean backflip climb.
Good second hit. All right.
Chaos starting on the other screen.
Let's see.
So we can focus on Chaos here. Ray has a little bit of downtime before he potentially
All right.
sets up for Harriet third.
All right. Just a small mistake. Rhea using spin pound to hit Harriet.
Gets it.
Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, I'm not sure if I like the setup. He's going to be going for the normal hit,
Oh,
but gets
nice.
it.
Got him. So Rhea doing the regular Harriet third. I think we're gonna see Chaos doing target acquired alternative, which is basically just landing straight on the bubble and spin pounding right away. Rhea actually landed on the platform and dead spin pound, which looks very close, but like quite different.
Yeah, Chaos opting for the target acquired here. Let's see if he gets it
Nice.
very fast. That's actually a bit fast because you hit the mech earlier. When you hit the platform, you need to turn into you, but double Harriet third here. Very scary strat. Both getting them.
All right, so Rhea keeping his lead. Good job by him. It's gonna come down to Moon. I mean, again, Moon is many times a kingdom that we take for granted during runs. But you know, in a race, you know, if you miss a Bowser hat, you know, sloppy movement on the escape section, you know, you can make the
For sure.
difference. So let's see. Not even talking about like Moonscape. Moonscape. I think top runners don't even think about it as a something you gotta do. It's just jumping for them at this point.
Yeah, unless you're Stravos and do it with a spin pound, I guess. But yeah, for other runners, I agree.
But in the race, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, we saw some mistake by Chaos that we're not used to seeing. Missing Snowdrum and just movement in general. We're not used to that, so anything can happen in a race. Nerves definitely play a role in it.
For sure. So, heading into Moon, probably looking at around a 25-second lead around that for Rhea, which still seems like a lot, but Moon, we've seen anything. Bowser being the very big one, where it's once again one of these auto-scrollers where you make a mistake there, you are pretty much doomed to get a pretty big time loss out of it.
Yeah. So, Rhea starting up Moon, we're gonna see the vectors. No, it's technique that we use throughout the run in many places, but it's most noticeable in Moon due to the gravity.
Yeah.
It's just jumping diagonally, just gets you speed and distance. Pretty weird vectoring by Rhea. He kind of did it the inverted way, so he has to do the double dive. So yeah, that definitely lost time over the fastest strat.
Yeah. Once again, they went into this kingdom with actually a pretty much exactly 20-second difference, 20 to 21, which once again, one Bowser phase and one other mistake can even that out. Let's see how this one goes. Because opting for his vectors, Rhea grabbing both of the fire flows, which also a mistake you can make.
We see Chaos vectoring to the other side and actually being able to just land and roll. That's the fastest strat, and you can easily tell by the cycle of the enemy that he was actually quite a bit faster than Rhea.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right, nice moonskip by Rhea again. You don't expect runners of this level to miss moonskip ever, but it could happen.
Could happen. Rhea going for the spin pump right there, playing very clean so far this Moon. But Bowser, said it before, this is the one we want to be looking for. Chaos getting moonskip as well, so let's see how this fight goes. Epic music playing.
So Rhea opting for the pretty safe strat, just throwing Cappy twice and long jumping. That's a faster strat when you can just do a spin throw and just roll besides the hat, and the spin throw actually grabs the hat as you're rolling to the boss. That saves quite a bit of time.
Phase 1, not a problem for Rhea. Chaos grabbing that head with not actually the fastest strat, that's still totally okay. If he gets the hits, does get it. And Rhea, the second phase, that's the scary one. Gets it though.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny, this fight, I feel like it's one of these things we always take for granted, this and Cloud, but there's times where a lot of runners just struggle with this kind of fights. It's just, it's just a timing thing. Maybe it's just one frame early that you're throwing Cappy, and it just like that, a 10-second time loss.
For sure. So Rhea only one last phase to go until it's really up to escape and the pillars room. So actually taking damage in a pretty weird spot. Let's see if he can still grab that head. Oh! That's huge! My goodness, that's actually a 12-second time loss. That's exactly what Chaos needed to have a chance in this one.
Wow.
That is huge.
I mean, I don't want to say I told you, but I told you. It can happen.
So this actually changes a lot.
It changes a lot. Rhea's still ahead, but we're looking at like 10-second difference.
If even, maybe like 8 or something. Also pretty slow cutscene skip, actually almost pressing no on that one.
Alright, I think, yeah, the lead is 10 seconds. 10-second lead.
Oh, Chaos pausing there. Okay, 10 seconds, so that's actually not over. Depending on how well pillars go, you can easily see a 10-second difference in pillars. So D-skip is still a thing, and it's not really known that runners lose that much in escape, but it can happen. So that's the one thing that makes this race still very close.
No, you can actually lose like 5 seconds in the 2D section. Like if you have a sloppy
that's
to the
true,
skip,
yeah.
like a third try to the skip, it's a sloppy movement, like you can lose quite a bit of time, and then it comes down to pillar room. So yeah, it's not over, guys. This is so close.
For sure. So Rhea getting the triple jump, which is, it comes down to all of the small tricks too, even the quote-unquote easy ones. Heading into the 2D. Let's see how this one goes. Clean, clean, very clean.
That was really fast. Pretty much the fastest you can do. Nice. That was so clean. Chaos turn.
Oh no.
All right.
Falling down once.
So if Rhea, gaining some time there, extending the lead a bit more, I would say it's probably like 13 seconds now, maybe 14.
Yeah,
And
Chaos
Chaos just giving up and doing the wall
Wow.
jump.
I can't see why he would do that, actually. I mean, it's... I guess he did it for the fans or something. It would have been pretty hard for Reyal to shot this at this point, but he is definitely missing some shots. He's actually missing a lot. Still got 4, I think. So
Yeah.
Chaos gets his fast hits here, and here he can still come in closer. Would have been very hard for him to win this anyways, but yeah, Pillars is the thing.
It's
Super,
crazy.
super close,
It's
right?
crazy. I was so close at the end. Now, remember that leaving snow, Rhea was 40 seconds ahead roughly. So Chaos definitely got really close, even after missing Snowdrop. So really close race, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, Rhea ending this one with a low 103, probably going to be around the same for Chaos. Once again, maybe like 15 seconds behind, maybe 17 because of the wall jump memes at the very end. But that one was insanely close, especially now that Rhea missed the head at the very end, gave us a little bit of hope that Chaos might still pull this off. Definitely creeping and creeping and creeping after his mistakes in snow and lost, but very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, and we see Chaos very frustrated with his race. That's
Yep.
But I let go. Just let go, dude.
Happens to the best of
And
them.
Happened to the best, for sure. GG's. What a race. Wow. That was close.
Damn. Rhea probably destroying most of the predictions for this. Oh no, Chaos, no.
For sure. For sure.
Rhea shattering actually some of these tournament predictions that you have seen most people actually predict Chaos to take it all, but still super close race in the end here, 23 seconds apart. If anyone would have predicted this one, actually curious. But yeah, Rhea advancing to the semi-finals. And yeah, this tournament is obviously not over.
Yeah, let's see if any of them want to join and talk. I know if Chaos wants to give his thoughts.
Yeah,
about
I
the
can
race.
definitely...
Okay.
That was a spaghetti fest.
What's up, dude? Hey, definitely still GG's. You made it pretty close, actually, until the very end. It was super fun for everyone. I've seen people flip out in chat right there. Definitely creeping back after some very heavy losses in snow there. But I mean, you give us your thoughts, man.
I mean, after loss, I just gave. I kind of just gave up.
Why?
Dude, my controller was like. I mean, I was playing bad too. I mean, it was pretty obvious, but I don't know. I just. Ugh. And then Snowdrop. I was about to reset my Switch after Snowdrop, to be honest, but I just kept going.
But you were having controller issues?
Yeah, my control. Like, okay. After loss, sometimes, like, my controller, for some reason, it happens to other people too, but it gets delayed.
Oh.
Like,
Yo,
and like
what's
the
up?
rumble's all fucked.
Wait, we have Rhea
Oh
joining us
my
on an
God.
honor.
Oh my god.
Is that reyalsdiorteM himself? What's up, dude?
What's up?
Yo, GG's on the race, man. Very exciting one. What do you think about this one?
I mean, like, it was pretty bad. I wasn't very happy with it, but like, I'm still quite happy that I won. But like, it could have been way better.
For sure.
I'm actually happy
mean-
about the rock clip, to be honest.
Yeah,
No,
that one
dude,
went
like-
well for you.
Yeah. No, your wooded was clean. Like other than
Yeah.
that clip, it was pretty much probably gold for you, I would say.
Yeah. It was hot.
I mean, and Rhea, yeah. I mean, for a no reset, I think a low 103 is pretty good still, though. Don't you think?
Yeah.
This has been my worst run probably in a couple weeks.
I mean,
I mean,
nerves coming into play, man.
I wanted to say the exact same sentence. And it is real, obviously. And especially in kingdoms like Lost and Snowdram, you get very demotivated the second you miss it. That one bonk shatters every emotion. I've been there, we've all been there, people that run this game on a higher level, but definitely still probably the most exciting race I've casted here so far. I mean, we've seen some very close four-ways too, and this tournament is far from over. There's obviously going to be more content on GSA in general, speaking about SMO here. But yeah, Reyal actually advancing into the semifinals. We do not know his opponent yet. This was the first quarterfinal. We'll be finding out that shortly. Reyal, who's the opponent you definitely do not want to face?
Probably
there's any.
Sega.
Yeah, I
Alright.
can definitely see that. We will be having a scheduled race from Suisaiga later today, actually. It's going to be, I think, in around 4 to 5 hours. Reyes is going to be racing the Leggy, and it's going to be his first tournament appearance. Definitely another favorite on this one. Used to have world record on multiple occasions, but it's going to be very hype.
Yeah, don't worry, Ray. I'm gonna beat Accurate, and then I'm gonna beat Suisaiga, and
Yep.
we're just gonna
Let's
meet
go,
in the
Sid.
semis. Don't worry about it.
Let's
Just
go.
I
like
got you,
got
bro.
you covered there.
I got you.
But anyways, GG's, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Very exciting race. Follow Global Speedrun Association for professional esports speedrun content casted by commentators like me and Tischel, and racing between insane players like Chaospringle and Reyal. Follow them on Twitch as well. And we will be having Celeste here soonish, so make sure to stay tuned. And another SMO race later today. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.
GG's.